Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today? Hope you're well. Let's just bring this up on here. Who've we got on? Anyone on? Weather's just appalling, isn't it? It's just absolutely garbage. But let's see. Today we're going to talk. Let me bring this up here. Today we're going to just quickly go through the news that looks like Lukas Nmecha is off to Wigan. Afternoon, Big Head Company. How are you? We're going to talk about Marlos Moreno. Remember that name back in the days of when we signed Gabby Jesus. We'll look at Pep centre-back issues. Jurgen Klopp back at it again. I mean, God, is there another manager in world football who makes as many excuses as Jurgen Klopp? And Danilo, it's looking like he's going to be the problem. It's going to be an issue with regards to an issue if he's unhappy. Let's say. Section 20 afternoon, Andy, and all the Sky Blues. How are you? Good afternoon, Rob. Rob is on. Nice. Well, she's. I went in and I just said, I'm just fed up with the usual stuff. And this morning I said, come on, do something different with it. And she went, right, let's chop into it and let's fade it and let's whatever. And I said, yeah, go on, let's go for it. And so she's done it a little bit shorter, bit of a line, bit of a fade, and I don't know anyway, but it'll be easier to manage anyway. So because I'm going away in the morning, so I don't have time to be messing about with it. So, Usmanic Bell. Message deleted by Rob. That was pretty quick. I don't know what that was all about. What was going on there, Rob? You dived in very quickly there. It must have been a bit nasty if we banned somebody immediately. Any Sane news? No. Midnight? No. Nothing. Looks 20 years old with Danilo. That's what she said to me. She said, "You look a lot younger." Hi everyone, Leonard London. T-Top Bins, looks really good to see you. Ready for a new season, Cunest. I'm not. Yeah, I wish I had his money. Section 20, you an Armour player, eh? Mangala leaving. I've not read anything about Mangala leaving, I'll be honest with you. Celtic fan troll, not needed unless, okay, fine, fair enough, no props. Let's not have a bit of bias though, because you're a Rangers fan. But as long as it was justified, then I'll go with you, Rob. Clement Sagier, hi Andy, how are you, mate? Martin Abid, hi Andy, thoughts on Rodri? I think he's done very well. Still needs to get up to speed, let's call it. Thought he's had some really nice touches. He's looked defensively pretty sound, but then I don't know. The only thing that worries me a little bit is his in getting back. A few times yesterday he was slightly out of position. It's a little bit concerning, but you know he's got to get himself up to speed as well. But overall, yeah, very pleased. His passing looks great. His technical or tactical fouling looks very good as well. And he looks very composed on the ball. Doesn't panic, which is great. Section 20, yeah, it's my passion. Armour player. What's Armour player? What, I don't know. What's that all about? Is it gaming? Oh, yeah, it goes straight off my head. I'm assuming. Oh, I've seen Section 20, you've been posting some stuff on Twitter, aren't you? Like screenshots of like gameplay of something, some sorts. I'm not sure whatever that is, but I think, is that what you're talking about? Anderlecht lost today, really, did they? Poor Vinny Company. Section 20, Ferner will school Rodri on where he should be. Absolutely, of course he will. I mean, and like I said, he's going to need time to adjust to the Premier League and the pace of the Premier League. It's a game, okay? Jason, hi Andy, hope you're well. What do you think will be our second target? Because it looks like we ain't getting Maguire. Second target, we're talking about centre-backs. I still don't think we'll sign anyone, if I'm being honest. But be interesting if we're still in, the rumours are about Ake, maybe. But yeah, I do screenshots of a game. Right, okay. Yeah, I thought saw something on Twitter. That's on there, so I have no idea what it is, but I have seen it. Martin Abid, honestly, from what I've seen from Angelino, he doesn't look great so far. He needs time, mate. Let's not judge him just solely. Thought he was better yesterday, but yeah, I agree. The couple of games he played prior to that, he wasn't fantastic, if I'm being honest. So we'll see. You know, just let's give him a bit of time. Are you going to Wembley? Tickets. Of course, I'm going to Wembley. Yeah, I'll be going down very early on Sunday morning. We're staying in the Novotel where we normally stay, so I'll be meeting up with everyone else there, and yeah, it should be good. Can't wait. My lads are coming with me as well, so it should be a good day out. Hopefully we win. If we don't, hey, who cares? You had a scrap with the lawnmower. Yeah, I did. Dr. Blue Moon. Hi Andy, I'm late again. Don't worry, looking good. You're not late, it's only 6 minutes in. Looking good, Theo Trad. Thank you, mate. Hi Andy, Rob, and the team, says Bernardini. Me and Andy are going to fly down to Leicester, kidnap Maguire and sign him up. I'll let him stay there. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see what happens. I think there's going to be, certainly over the next week, there's going to be a lot of transfer rumour news and speculation and, you know, thoughts on things like that. So I think now we're getting to the business end of it. You'll see a lot of news coming out, and a lot of it will be crap, but there will be some truth in some of the stuff. About Spurs centre-back. Leonard, what do you mean about that? You talking about Alderweireld? Well, his buyout clause has been and gone. Scott Williams, afternoon all. That's a sharp look, fella. Thank you very much. They don't allow my kind in the Novotel. Of course they do, mate. I'm sure there's worse than you in there. Not many, but I mean, I'm sure we can get you in there. But I didn't need that cost. It's on me. That's Tori Blue Moon, looking fresh, Andy, looking good and looking younger again. Thank you. That's what my hairdresser said, but I'm sure it was only for a tip. Martin Abid, do you think we're going to make any more signings this summer? I don't know. I really, really don't know. Hoodie back on, yeah. What's happening? I've just been away for 5-6 days, and it was pissing down non-stop in tropical storms. And here it's been like 30 odd degrees, and I come home, and since yesterday morning and all day it's never stopped raining. I don't know what's going on. Clement said, yeah, any incoming will sorely depends on outgoings. I agree. Yeah, totally agree with you. And that, I think that is the problem. And we'll talk about sort of Danilo. I think Danilo is going to be the crux of it. Section 20, it's been chucking it down up here for a day and a half. Still not made it. No, it's still muggy, but it's just non-stop rain. It's constant rain. Tamjid Islam, hopefully Foden gets more game time this year. I'm sure he will, without a shadow of a doubt. Flippity Flop already out with the excuses. Yeah, I mean, it's becoming tiresome. And if I would, you know what, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be like a bit pissed off. I'd be thinking, oh, come on, stop with the excuses. You know, we've got money. Let's just do this. Let's just do that. And we'll talk a little bit about that and look at their transfer policy and their transfers, and then say, you know, who's spending what. It's your fault, hey. It's my fault I brought the rain, but no chair. Yeah, please. I think we need one more centre-back, you reckon? Well, okay. I'll ask you then, Martin, who do you want? What has Klopp said? We'll talk about it shortly. Big Egg Company. Martin, so who do you want? You know, Rob says, Klopp claims he can't buy players. He has a poor club. His owners will love taking money out. Coutinho and Suarez money must have run out. City buying again, it seems. Yeah, we'll have a discussion. I'll read out some of his comments, and also look at you know, considering that Liverpool fans keep going on or have done for the last 2 years about net spend. It's interesting now that he's moaning about money. Amazing, isn't it? You know. Quite ironic that they talk about they're the net spend champions and need a trophy for it. Yet when it comes to buying players, suddenly, oh, they've got no money, and you know, amazing. The hypocrisy of it all. The problem is I don't know who we can get. I don't think Maguire is worth 80 million. I don't think it's any. I'll be honest with you. I've said this time and time and time again, Martin. Is that I don't think. I think the purchase price is irrelevant. Put that to one side. We could spend 100 million on Ake. We could spend 100 million on Maguire. It's irrelevant how much we actually spend on a centre back. It's the salary, the weekly wage. That is, if the all original rumours from 6 weeks ago were true, or 4 weeks ago were true, about 280 grand a week. That is a difference. It makes no difference how much we pay for them. It's irrelevant, really. What's with Klopp and his obsession with City? He's obsessed. It's like the Liverpool fan base, and I'm sure he does it because the Liverpool fan base are obviously obsessed with Man City fans. I think City's giving him some nightmares. But yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Cancelo over Walker and Walker over Danilo. Not for me. I'll be honest with you, I've said it all along. Not for me, Cancelo. Must have spent a fortune on those teeth though. Bet that took up some of the Coutinho wedge. It will have done. J Snap, I would like either Ake or if we get desperate for hunger and centre back, I would sign Cahill. Why? Why would we go and? I don't understand the logic of this. Let's think. We've lost Vincent Kompany. Okay. What we've promoted into the team, and I do agree that, we lost a lot of experience. What we promoted into the team is Howard Bellis and Eric Garcia into the team. We've also now we've got replacement in Rodri for Fernandinho. We've got Fernandinho who can cover at centre back. We've got John Stones and we've got Laporte as well. We've still got Nicolas Otamendi. How many centre backs do you want? How many? Now, if Otamendi was to go, I think definitely we should sign a centre-back. But if not, and my thoughts are, I don't think we're going to sign anyone. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think we're going to, unless there's some massive change with the Maguire thing. I just don't see it. Hi, Andy Brian Gardner, how are you? David Matt, yeah, Liverpool had the second highest wage bill in the league last season, absolutely. Clement, do you think any of the youngsters that were included in the pre-season squad would have a look in our senior team? Yes, I do. I do think definitely. You're looking at the likes of, obviously, Taylor Howard-Bellis for cup competitions. I think Tommy Doyle will come in for cup competitions next season and get some, I don't know how many games, but the odd game here, sub-appearance or whatever, definitely in there. It wouldn't surprise me if the likes of Bernabei gets a look in. As well, we haven't seen Luke Bolton yet, and that's my one big shame of this pre-season tour, because he's picked up that injury. I would love to have seen how Luke Bolton played, but maybe Pep will keep a close eye on him, and maybe still keep him around the squad training. I still think they'll go off and do their EDS stuff and everything else, but I'm talking about if it's coming up to a cup competition, he may draft in 3 or 4 of the EDS sort of senior people and then get them training around the squad for a week or 2, or he might have them training around the first team squad and just release them back to the EDS ready for an EDS game. So I do think there'll be 4 or 5 of them that will definitely be around the team next season. I think Pep will out of this pre-season tour, I think Pep will look at this pre-season tour and go, wow, I'm really impressed. And I think it's been brilliant for not only getting, energy into the legs of the players and minutes and things like that, because that's what you need, and you're playing in a hot climate all the time, so that always accelerates that area of it. And we've come away with no injuries, which is brilliant, which is the main thing at this time of the season before it starts. But I think Pep will come away from this tour going, wow, I've seen like 4 or 5 kids here and 2 or 3 of them have done exceptionally well and have actually accelerated their chances of being around the first team squad in training next season. So I think he'd be really pleased. Now, you imagine if every single season, you took 10 kids away with you from the EDS, and you've got 3 or 4 of them thinking these should be training around the first team squad. That bodes well for another 3-4 years time when these guys could be regular first teamers. I think it's been a very successful pre-season tour. Maybe not so much for the first teamers, though it's been great to see the likes of Kevin De Bruyne back looking really sharp. But for Pep looking in the future and going, Yeah, I've challenged them, and these kids have stepped up to the mark. You know, the likes of Harwood Bellis has done absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing wrong when he's played. And he's had a lot of game time. Tommy Dawes looked very, very exciting. Adrian Benabi's looked very, very good when he's come on and did absolutely nothing wrong. And then we've had a couple of the other kids scoring goals. I know, all right, Nmecha looks like he's going on loan. Yeah, I think he's going to be very, very pleased with what he's seen. Just going back through your comments, Rob says, I'd sign Maguire for 150 mil. That's what it costs to land his weekly wages, not above 200. And like I said, I've always said it doesn't make a difference how much we spend. Obviously, there is a limit to what we can spend, but we haven't really spent a lot, and we've got rid of a number of players. So the actual outlay on a player is amortized over a 5-6 year contract, so it's irrelevant. It really is. So let's say, take Rob's example, 150 million over a 5-year contract. It's 30 million quid a year goes towards FFP. So it's peanuts. It's absolute peanuts. It's the salary thing is the problem area, because what you don't want to do then, like I said weeks ago, if we sign Maguire on 150 million, let's say we paid 150 million, which we're not going to, but let's say we did. I don't think they're going to be, City players are not going to be that bothered about that, because it's a one-off payment. And all right, you might get a 10% signing on fee, so we might get 15 million signing on fee, which is a lot of money. But if he comes in at 280 grand a week, which what the original rumours were, then he is in that Sergio Aguero bracket. Now, he should never, ever, ever be paid anywhere near what Sergio Aguero is paid. Nowhere near it. So you've got Bernardo Silva just signed last season an extended contract on 160, 180 grand a week. If you're his agent, you're going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. Player of the season, 180 grand a week. You're signing a centre-back for 280 grand a week. Knock on the door, Ferran, cheeky, can we have a word? So that's when it starts upsetting the whole dynamic of the team and everything else. So the outlay on a player I think personally, is irrelevant. It's the salary. We don't want to break that wage structure. City's wage structure is there, and no one of Maguire's ilk should be getting paid more than Bernardo Silva. Totally agree, section. Totally agree. Leonard said Ake would be a good acquisition for 40 mil and reasonable wages, hopefully, plus he's left-footed in case of Laporte. Right, okay, with the Ake thing, and I keep saying this over the Ake thing, yes, I think 40 million is a good price. Will it be 40 million though? And that's the problem, because we are moving into now, Leonard, we're moving into the sort of business end of the transfer window. The longer this goes, you can imagine, and I've said this before on the live vlogs, you can imagine the owner of Bournemouth and Eddie Howe going, 40 million? Not sure. You're desperate for a centre-back. Let's go in at 65. We might negotiate to 55 or 60. Suddenly, now that 40 million becomes 60, 65 million quid. Now we're in the realms of where the Maguire thing is rumoured to be at. And so it's all needs to be sorted out pretty quickly. Otherwise, that 40 million won't be 40 million for long. It'll be 60 million. But the only thing is I can't see him being on massive wages. What have we got? Sorry. It's Electro FX. Honest to God, if we sign Cancelo, I will be so happy. Plus gives us an option for Walker. Why would you be happy? If you go back and look at the... and I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this. But I think Cancelo is definitely brilliant going forward. Shit defensively. And that's not what we need. Not what we need at the moment. We've got enough with Walker being up and down defensively without having another superstar brilliant winger going forward but can't defend for toffee. And that's not for 65, 70 million quid. No chance. I don't want that at City. No chance. I want somebody who can defend properly and go forward. I want both. Now, I'm not saying Pep couldn't work on that side of it, but the transfer analysis I did on Cancelo himself, 3 different experts in football analysis on Cancelo all said exactly the same thing, and that's what worries me. If it was one person, I might have gone, yeah, well, it's opinion. 3 people all said the same thing. He's superb going forward, but he is crap defensively. Clement, any possibility of our key players yet to link up get a chance to feature in the queue? Maybe. It all depends. Said yesterday that 29th and 30th, some of them are coming back, but it doesn't say who. and the 3rd and the 4th of August, some are coming back. So whoever comes back on the 3rd, 4th of August definitely won't be included. But if they come back on the 29th, 30th, which is, what's today? So tomorrow and Tuesday, then yeah, there could be the possibility. Whether they'll start or not, I'm not sure. Why not go out for Varane? Great player. Don't get me wrong, Martin. Brilliant, brilliant player. Superb. Depends on what they want for him. Obviously, we know that Real Madrid have spent a shed load of money like they do every year. It depends on how much they want for him and what sort of salary he's going to demand. I don't know what he's on at Real Madrid. If somebody knows, please let me know. But I have no idea what he's on. But he is a superb player. Absolutely brilliant. Kristen Tonen, is it? Chris Antonen. Sorry if I've said that wrong. Stones will come good. I agree. With a run and love from the fans, don't understand the word. I absolutely. I totally am with you. I think Stones has looked good yesterday. He looked very good. Aki isn't a different player from what we had already, though. We need a player type we don't currently have. Only player matches that requirement. Robbie's just obsessed with Maguire. And I'd be happy if we sign him. Don't get me wrong. I would be happy if we sign him. As long as his salary is of a... I don't know how much he's on now. What's it? He must be on 80 grand a week. Would you pay him another 200 grand a week on top of that? Not for me. He ain't that type of player. But if, let's say, you got him on 150, 160 grand a week, I'd say sign him. If it cost us 80 million, sign him. Laporte and Stones will be our main guys, and we have backup. Pep is happy with that. I think Maguire or nobody, says Bernard. Yeah, okay, there you go. I've got a feeling it's going to be nobody. I really do. Jason, I only said KL because apparently we need to sign at least. Well, we don't need to sign. We don't need to sign anybody at the moment. At this particular moment, with regards to that, because well, it shouldn't be reduced now at the moment because we've brought back in Angelino, who's homegrown, in there as well. Obviously, Rodri's come in on there, which is fine, fair enough. But we don't know what the squad announcement's going to be for next season, and we've still got 2 weeks, is it, to go? 10 days on there. So I don't think there's any issues with regards to the homegrown quota as it stands at this moment in time. Obviously, if we were to bring the likes of Cancelo in, well, then that does start making a difference. We should have signed El Emiliotto or Mario Hermosa. No, not for me. You've had your, ears lowered out, James. Heard rumours the legend is Mangala is off to Turkey. And thoughts on Garcia? Thought we played well. He played well yesterday for Spain's under-19s. I didn't see it, mate. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see Eric Garcia playing. So did he play well? I don't know. I didn't see it. Mangala off. What surprises me is the fact that we gave him that extension. Seems a bit of a weird one now. But especially if City are rumoured to be saying he can go on a free. I haven't seen the Mangala rumours to Turkey. I mean, are we selling him? Are we getting something back on that one year extra deal, which seems bizarre if we're going to give him away for free. Should have just let him go as a free agent. Ming-Yi Wong, are you friends with Ian Cheeseman? He might see you at Wembley. I'm not friends with him. I know him, but I'm not friends with him. And I normally see Ian Cheeseman at Wembley every year or every time we're at Wembley. Clement says Felix tends to be more rated than Lukas, but it's funny when Felix wasn't given a look in during the pre-season. Any reason? He's a baby. He's an absolute baby, Clement. He's got a lot of learning to do. He's only just turned 17 or something like that. He's a baby, absolute baby. He might be rated higher, or the thoughts that he could potentially develop into a better player. But long way to go. Yeah, long. I mean, he's played. We're talking about kids football, so it's a massive difference between playing EDS level and then playing in, around adults, men, proper football. So I'm sure he'll be just brought along nice and slowly, like he should be done at that type of age. Hi, Blue Oasis. How are you? Paul Blue Oasis, sorry. Gary Soames, just under 2 weeks to the new season. Looking forward to it. Let's hope it's the best ever and closer point-wise. Wolves, Leicester on the up. Man United on the down. Yeah, it's going to be it's great to have it back again, isn't it? It's just one of those things. Maguire has exactly the skill set we require. He's English, which 20 million plus cost. Yeah, you're going to pay that, aren't you? Varane or Ake do not meet those requirements. Sure, they are great players, but not what we need. We've spoke about this anyway. I'm 50% with you, 50% not bothered. I'll be honest with you. Hopefully, Sane rejects Bayern and stays, says Tamij. Hopefully, I've now gone from being pretty sure that he's going to stay to now I'm not too sure. Rob, Ake meets homegrown quota from his time as a kid. Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Ake. So the homegrown thing is irrelevant if we got Ake. Martin says even Arsenal transfer fee record is going to be higher than City, but apparently City is inflating the market. Well, we've known that. That's all we've been doing. We've been ruining football since 2008. I agree with you about the wages, says Brian Gardner. You're right, Scott. Jason Foy says he should accept 180 grand a week and then they can have a think to see if it's worth going higher on his renewal. Bernard said it before, Bournemouth are savvy, so Ake price will not be cheap. I agree with you there, Bernard. I don't think they're not going to. I'd be surprised if they let Ake go at 40 million. I'll be honest with you. If they even suspected City required and needed a centre back. Davy Mack says Vinny will be missed, but a lot forget he only played in 59 of 152 little. Like, yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree with you. I don't think it's his game time, or let's face it, towards the end of last season, he was exceptional, absolutely exceptional. But yes, you're totally right. You have to remember the sort of previous 3 seasons he hardly played for City. But when you watch that documentary, the new documentary that's just come out on the City for TV app, just that leadership, that dynamism, that lead from the front, and people, you can't bear in mind when people don't piss about around the likes of a Vinny Company, you won't accept it. And I'm not sure we've got somebody at the moment like that, and that's what worries me more than anything. He wasn't just a leader on the pitch, and when he played he was great, but off the pitch he's just this aura, this presence, this demanded levels of professionalism, and I know City don't tend to always buy players that could go off the rails and things like that, but he just led by example off the field as well, and I just think that's what we're going to miss more than anything. Some great banners for Vinny in the stands. Bet he was just amazing. Sky Blue Oz Martin, how are you, mate? Evening, Andy. Hope you're well. I'm very good, buddy. How are you? Rob says what Vinny did off the field was as well. Off the field is key, regardless of appearances, presence. Very, like I said, very, very difficult, unbelievably difficult to try and have somebody who'd been around the club, knew the club inside out, and just set standards that were so high, something that on a level where Pep set standards, and that's your captain, and anybody stepped out of line, I'm sure he was down on them like a ton of bricks, and I'm not sure who is going to replicate that sort of captaincy now. Martin's on. Hi, all. Apologies for lateness. Have I missed garlic bread? No, you haven't. It's Electro FX. Any thoughts on Spurs transfer window? Spent big money, bought big players, sold big players, and still active in the window for big money. Well, it's about time, innit? Let's face it. We all know that Spurs have got a very, very good squad, but they needed 3 or 4 big changes to the squad, bringing in some proper big signings, some experience, and they've done exceptionally well, and I'm sure they'll have a very good season this season. Can't believe they just stalled Bale's transfer to China. Yeah, I believe so. Don't get me wrong, my first choice preparing is Stones and Laporte. However, we intend to win 4 major trophies. The only way to do that might be to utilise skill set Stones and Laporte. I agree with you. I agree with that, Rob. Definitely. Cancelo, top centre-back is needed. Not Cancelo, I'll be honest with you. I've said it now for 4 or 5 weeks. I think that deal is dead. Martin, to compete in all 4 trophies, Stones and Laporte, without ain't enough, 1 bad injury, and we're screwed, really. Okay, so in addition to that, we've got Howard Bellis, Eric Garcia, and Fernandinho, and Danilo, who can play centre-back. So I've given you 4 names there that can play on top if Otamendi or one of those got, Laporte or Stones got injured. So basically, we're going to end up, if we sign another centre-back, we're going to end up with about 8 centre-backs. How do you keep everybody happy? Pep turned Mascherano into a world-class centre-back. He could do the same with Nmecha. Yeah, I'm not doubting that. And I think I've always said, I don't think he'd be a regular starter, but he's definitely there for cover. Selectro FX, why are we linked with Bonucci? He's way past it, Matt. I don't think there's any truth in that, if I'm being honest. Exactly, Martin. If we intend to win 4 trophies, we need to add Maguire to that. Maguire. Rob's obsessed with Maguire. He's looking in the window, in the mirror, going, Maguire, let's sign Maguire. I'll break his legs if he don't sign. Bernard Denny, think someone made a boom with Mangala extension. Yeah, it was a weird. I could understand it at the time, thinking, all right, we'll give him an extension. Somebody might pay 8 million, 10 million for him, but. Then rumours 2 weeks ago were, well, City's just giving up and going on a free. And it's like, why do that? We cannot give away Mangala away. Nobody wants him. Well, shame. We go with Howard Bellis and Eric Garcia. Well, we can go with Fernandinho and Otamendi as well. That's what I'm saying is we've got loads of people. And Fernandinho and Danilo can play at centre-back. We can't trust them as haven't been good enough last 2-3 years. What is making everyone think all of a sudden they're good enough now? Who are you talking about? The Mancini philosophy, and to extent Ferguson philosophy, was 4 strikers outscore the opposition. Pep has every forward covered. Depth defensively, we do not have that depth. It's like that, circles. It's circles. It's round and round. Right, okay. Centre backs: Stones, Laporte, Otamendi. Right, 3 there. And you said it, Rob. You said, I think Stones and Laporte are the number 1 pairing. Right, okay, so Stones and Laporte. We've got Otamendi as cover. Did nothing wrong last season. Nothing. All right, the red card, one game. But otherwise, the year before was in the Premier League team of the season. So we've got 3 good centre-backs there. We've got Fernandinho, who we know will definitely be able to cover at centre-back. No problem. And possibly could do a better job than Son and the others. There's 4. We've got Danilo, who has played centre-back for City last season. 5. We've got Howard Bellis, who's not done anything wrong on this trip, and with game time looks like he could be exceptional. Granted, maybe not a starter for City, but can cover. We've got Eric Garcia, who's currently away in Spain and playing very well and has never let us down really at centre-back. Is he a starter? Not for me, but has got cover. There's 7 centre-backs, and we want to buy an 8th. 8 centre-backs. Who's losing out and who's going to be really pissed off? Who's going to be really, really pissed off when they're told they're not playing? So it's like, how many centre-backs do you want? We've got 4 strikers, but 8 centre-backs now. Young kids ain't good enough. Yeah, I'm afraid. Well, tell me what Howard Bellis did wrong compared to John Stones, Laporte, and any of the other centre-backs who played. Did he put a foot wrong compared to any of John Stones or Laporte's games in the pre-season? Never put 1 foot wrong. Never put 1. Not for the competitions. Whatever happened to Inigo Martinez? I don't know where he ended up. Mangala is free, but the club now want him on loan. With City paying some of his wages, don't know. It's just amazing. I don't know why I've seen this all. Just let him go. Pre-season's been very positive in my opinion. Nmecha is thriving here. Yeah, problem being he's not going to get game time at City. That's the problem. Crocodile Giraffe, who are you? Don't know who you're talking to. Chris Baker, Garcia and Bellis aren't ready yet. We need a new centre-back, and Maguire would be the perfect fit, unless Sane or another non-hungry player leaves, and then we can get a foreign centre-back. Who the players don't play the Community Shield against Liverpool? We don't know yet. We don't know who's coming back today and tomorrow. Hi Andy and Blues, hi Steve. Garcia played very well for the 40 minutes I watched. Looked older than his age, in my opinion. I think he could give Pep a headache. There you go. Bernardine, Silver and KDB will share captaincy on the pitch. KDB giving the team talks in changing room when needed. Alavini. I don't know whether it'll be Alavini, but yeah, I do agree there'll be lots of verbal from certainly Kevin De Bruyne. I don't doubt that for a minute. But Alavini, I'm not too sure it'll be to a level of what Vinny would do. But he's definitely looks like he's going to be a future captain without a shadow of a doubt. Bruno Fernandes go to United, 80 million. They will get Maguire to be strong next year. Maybe, we'll see. Thought company was important, however, though, will be missed. We won't allow ourselves to drop standards. It'll be okay, so we'll step up. Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. I mean, it's going to be, it doesn't matter who came in to replace the likes of Vinny Company. It'd be extremely difficult. Maguire's purported transfer to City, a mere fabrication of the media. City has never made an official interest known. It's a deal that's not going to happen as the fees are way astronomical, okay? Section, the big question must be who is in charge of the biscuit tin now as Vinny's gone. Don't want Zinchenko getting fat on us. Marcus is on Hypnosis Gaming. Hi Marcus, how are you, buddy? Gary Soames says, football gone mad. We're barely being paid over 1.1 million a week. How far can it go? I mean, it's just bonkers. Bino Maguire, more like Haki, if anyone, you reckon, Steve? It's Electro FS, not being funny, but we don't need a centre-back. Our youngsters need to be brought through. Lots of you players impressed, especially Nmecha. Really impressed me. I'm not too sure whether Nmecha impressed me. I'll be honest with you. I think there were other kids that impressed me. I'm not sure Nmecha, I would say, impressed me. He did all right, and he scored his penalty, won the penalty, scored it, and got one off his chest. I didn't think he did much else, I'll be honest with you, when he came on, but that's just my opinion. Martin says those young lads need to go on loan. In my opinion, gain first team experience. They are good, but not ready for the big competition. It isn't fair to rely on them. Yep, quite possibly. But they're not really going to rely on them. That's the thing. It's not like we're saying 3 of the 4 young kids who've impressed this season are going to be starters for Man City. They're not, because there's still people on the bench who can't get a game. Never mind the kids. So it's not about relying on them. They'll be cover, because we've got, there's going to be, if Sane stays, we've got an issue between Mahrez, Sterling, Sane, Bernardo Silva, just vying for 1 or 2 positions. So we're not going to rely on a load of kids. I'm just saying, all right, we bring in Maguire then. Here we go. Here's a question for those who are saying about Maguire. We bring in Maguire. Who do you drop? Who starts? Who's the centre-backs that starts? And who gets dropped? And who's going to be not pissed off about that? There you go. That's my question. Thoughts on Micah Richards' career? Yeah. Shame. That's wonderful athlete. Brilliant. Had all the potential in the world. Typical Paul Lake thing, it's just injuries curtailed it. This ignorant talking of putting Fernandinho at centre back is ludicrous nonsense. Go and prop centre back, see one who can defend. It's not ludicrous, mate, because you can put Fernandinho in a 3 at the back and he'd do a wonderful job. What happened in the Cancelo deal? Why Man City can't sell this flop? He's not a flop. Danilo's not a flop. KDB is good captaincy candidate for long term. Silva can captain team for short term, and I agree, totally agree with you, Clement. Danilo is not a flop, Sanini. That's just pure bullshit. I totally agree, Chris Baker. I'd shit my pants if we got a Champions League semi-final with Howard Bellis and Danilo. Well, yes, so would I. But I mean, what are the chances of having Danilo and Howard Bellis? Let's be realistic about what we're talking about, and let's not just, live in fantasy land. I ain't saying the young lads aren't good, Andy. Don't get me wrong, but it's fair to. Who's relying on them? Who's relying? Who is relying on them, Martin, at the Camp Nou and Santiago Bernabeu? That's the biggest load of crap going. Who's relying on them going there? Nobody said that, because they want the possibilities. They're going to be just solely backups. And nobody's still answered me the question out of Martin and Rob. You buy Maguire. Who is going to be the player that's going to be really pissed off and want to leave Man City? And is Maguire going to have a starting position? Because if Rodri ends up starting, Fernandinho's going to be there. He'll want game time in his final part of his contract. If we start Maguire, are you getting rid of Laporte or are you getting rid of Stones? Because one of those two are going to be really pissed off if Maguire comes in. And let's say if Maguire comes in and isn't all that great. Because let's face it, he's not the quickest player in the world. And his passing ain't brilliant. Who's going to be pissed off? Which centre-back who is, out of those lot is going to be really, really pissed off, because one of them is going to be, if you want Maguire and he's going to be a starter and he's the answer to all of our problems after we've just won the treble, quadruple, had 100 points the season before, who is going to be pissed off? Which one of them? John Stones? Is he going to go, right, fuck this? Maguire ahead of me? Because somebody is going to be really annoyed. That means there's less opportunities for Fernandinho as cover, because Stones really will be there. So somebody is going to be really, really disappointed. And then you're not even talking about Otamendi. We'd have to get rid of Otamendi, because then we're going to end up with like 5, 6 centre-backs. So it's one thing sort of saying, well, buy Maguire, Maguire's the answer, but who is going to be annoyed? Who is the one that is going to... Everyone's turned around. You guys, actually, Rob, you turned around and said Stones and Laporte would be my first pairing. So is Maguire going to be on the bench then? If we spend 80 million quid and give him 200 grand a week, is he going to sit on the bench and be happy with that? Can't see it. Sorry, had to go out for a bit. We've just spoken about Klopp's comments yet. No, not yet. KDB, not Vinny's level, just meant he'll try. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I think he could grow into it, definitely. Vinny's gone to Fox's Biscuits. Rob, nice to get another semi-final of the Champions League. Yeah, it would. Our final. Of all the young players, it's exciting, but Jesus just doesn't make me think he has the capability of reaching Aguero's heights. I think just ain't ready. All right, who in world football? I mean, let's face it. Sergio Aguero's done it now. Season in, season out, season in. Gabi Jesus is 22 years of age. Who else in world football is at the level of Sergio Aguero right now, or in the next year? You know, I think it's unfair to sort of judge Gabi Jesus on the fact that he's a baby. He's still learning. Strikers don't really hit their peak until they're 26 to 28, 29 years of age. Gabi's got 5 years before he hits that. So I think to compare Gabi to Aguero, I think he's really, really unfair. We need to give Foden more time this season. I agree. Danilo is an excellent squad player. No idea why there has been all this Cancelo rubbish uttered. Sometimes I ask if people actually what City... Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you, Rob. Totally. I don't understand how people can say Danilo's crap and he's rubbish and he's not. He's a very, very good squad player. Brilliant. I'm versatile. Hi, Andy. Good, thank you. I hope you've been okay. Been a little busy, haven't we all, mate? Been very busy. Huge statement from Pep saying Foden is the best player. That was incredible, Gary. Absolutely amazing. Do you think we need another centre-back? Oh, going fully. You're about 5-10 minutes late on that question. We've just been discussing it for the last 10 minutes. Hi, Steve. Sorry I missed anyone listening rather than watching us working. Chipping in as and when. No problem whatsoever. You chip in all you like, mate. I like the idea of Nmecha. Dzeko. You're comparing Nmecha to Dzeko and Negredo. No chance. Absolutely no chance, mate. No chance. Bullies people off the ball. Did you watch the game yesterday? I think he got beat twice with a ball coming to him because he was stood there waiting for it, and they nipped in and took the ball off him. No, nowhere near the level of Dzeko and Negredo. Not for me. I'm sorry, but each to their own. I think Lukas Nmecha is a okay player. I'll be honest with you. I think he's okay. He'll never be a striker for Man City, in my opinion. Never. Sridhar KP, Jesus is not equal to Aguero now, but he has age. Absolutely, of course, totally. Rob, agreed Danilo has hardly put a foot wrong for us. I'd keep him. I agree. It's whether he wants game time. That's the thing with Danilo, and he needs to make his mind up one way or the other, or Pep needs to talk to him, or maybe he has. Maybe he already has. Wait, Andy, are you saying Mara's out breaking? No, I'm not saying that. Stop stirring it, Rob. We don't need Maguire. It doesn't suit us. Okay. Absolutely risky to deploy Fernando at centre-back. Remember how clumsy he is with tackles. He cost us a penalty. And, what, we're talking about one incident. One incident. And that's it. He's now determined for the rest of his career at City as clumsy. Are you joking me? Some of the comments on here by some people, honestly, I'll be really blunt with you today. I find pretty incredible. I really do. And it makes me think, do you really watch Manchester City? Because some of the comments are, Danilo is crap, Fernandinho's clumsy. Are you joking? He's the best central defensive midfielder in world football. The guy reads the game like nobody does. He's incredible. Amazing. Micah Richards is one of my all-time favourite City players, so much we named the dog Mackie, did you really? He had all the talent in the world. Matthew McGorty, did you see that Man City are apparently ready to play the recourse of Mikel Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad if Sane was to leave? Never even heard of him. Never heard of him. So I don't know who he is. Micah. Marcus says it would be Stones out. Too many mistakes, and his one-on-one marking is poor. Falcao prove of that against Monaco. Not too sure about that. Darren Loftus, first time watching live. Thanks for all your efforts. Centre-back issue is a matter of luck with injuries. More than enough short-term cover, but one or two big injuries. Different, Darren. I totally agree with that one. Of course, I mean, it is luck, but then how many people, it's one of those, you've got to make a decision on how many you go with. That's the thing. I mean, you want to pack, let's buy 10 centre-backs just in the hope that we get 3 or 4 injuries and then some of them can have game time. And it's one of those. It is a fine line. I do agree. I definitely do agree. And like I said to you, I always said on here, if Otamendi said, look, I want to go back to Valencia, let me go, I think we definitely need to replace, and we need another centre-back. But as it stands at the moment, do we need one? Maybe we do need one. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying I've got a feeling that we'll go with what we've got. Rohan Howell, we need physicality, 6'+ who can defend and deal with oral chet. That was our weakness, please. We need Harry Maguire or Koulibaly. No, 125 million quid. You're joking, are you? Koulibaly? No, not for me. I watched him 3 or 4 times in the Champions League last season, and he was average at best. We need to keep Sane at all costs. He's a player with great potential, of course. I mean, if we can. Martin, Laporte, Maguire start, Stones rotates. Otamendi is 4th choice. He won't be happy, but he needs something different. One bad injury, Andy or Stones, and his usual drop of form. And what's to say Maguire will come in and not be garbage? What's to say Maguire might come in and he's not the quickest player in the world. So are we buying a player for that much money and that much salary purely on if we get a cross into the box? And he's not that good coming out with the ball. Don't get me wrong. He's okay. He ain't at a level of passing and coming out with the ball like Stones or Laporte, in my opinion. He's a big lump that can head a ball, and he's okay with the ball at his feet, and he's positionally pretty decent. But he ain't quick, and he certainly isn't quick, and he don't pass a ball like Laporte or Stones. So for me, what if to say we spend all that money on him, drop Stones, and Maguire is average at best? It's one of those, isn't it? But we all have our opinions. We don't need Maguire. I think we don't need strength and defence. If we play like 60-game season between Stones, Laporte, Maguire, Otters, I highly doubt the kids even expect to play, Andy. No, I mean, which is my point. My point wasn't the fact that these kids would play. I mean, that's why before Martin said about, can you imagine these Carwood, Bellis and Danilo playing at the Bernabeu and the Newcastle? I mean, it's ridiculous because no, I can't imagine them. And I certainly wouldn't be starting any of them. None of them, if I'm being honest with you. But, like say, 60 games a season, you've got 4 players there. We know Otamendi rotated last season. Is he going to stay and rotate again? Will he want to? You sign Maguire, Otamendi is going to go, no, I ain't staying here. No chance. And Stones is going to be really pissed off considering that Pep really rates Stones. And he looks like he's just coming back to a bit of form. And hopefully he's got his head sorted out now. And I think Stones and Laporte, if Stones is back on his game, I think he's a perfect pairing. Perfect. But I just can't see us with 4 major centre-backs. Because if Rodri eventually takes over from Fernandinho at some point, and who's to say that Fernandinho will start, then we've got, what position does he play in? Because Gundogan, if he stays, will be expecting some game time in midfield. So we've still got Danilo. It's like how many do we want to buy? Do we really want 4 centre-backs fighting for just a Premier League place, and they might get a couple of games here and there. We could lose half our best team in a month, though. Long term, as you need at least 4 players for all 11 positions. 44 players. Really? Laporte must start. I think he will. I think the only thing we need right now is a Aguero replacement. We don't even need a left back, in my opinion, because I'm happy with Zinchenko. Well, we've got 3, haven't we? We've got Mendy, Zinchenko and Angelino. I'm only mentioning the kids, Andy, because you didn't include them in the 6-7 CBS we have. And the point I mean, pal, is they shouldn't be included. They need proper first-team football somewhere. Maybe only. Because you didn't include them in the 6-7. No, centre-backs, sorry. I was trying to work out what you meant by that. No, I didn't. That was my point. So, if we were to add the likes of Garcia and Harwood Bellis, then you're looking at how many other centre-backs. What, we got 10 centre-backs? I don't know. We'll see. I'll be very surprised. We'll put it this way. I'll be very, very surprised. So what you're basically saying with that, Martin, is that forget Eric Garcia and forget Harwood Bellis training around the first team squad this season, send them on loan. Because that's what you're intimating there with that comment. Yeah? So you want to send Eric Garcia on loan, so he won't be around the team this season. And Harwood Bellis won't be around the team. They need to go on loan. That's what you're saying, because I didn't mention them. We need a new centre-back. We only have 2 strong centre-backs, Stones and Laporte, and we have 4 competitions. Otamendi was... Do you forget? I don't know whether you just watched last season. It's your first time to football, Sinini, but the pre-season before, Otamendi was in the Premier League Team of the Year. Last season, he made 1 mistake and got a red card. Apart from that, he never let us down. Never let us down once when he played. Laporte is defo starter, but Stone's history, he always has a chunk of the season out with injury. Stones? I don't know whether he's had a big chunk of the season. He might have done. Last season he got an injury. Well said about Jesus. He's young, give him time. Maguire overpriced and not worth the money. City don't need him. Let Man U waste their money again. So it's real split over the Maguire thing. We'll have a great team for the next 5 years. We don't buy anyone else. Steve, well, someone is always disappointed in big teams. That's how it is. When you're trying for 4 competition, you need a squad. Disappointment is a factor you take a chance with. Yeah, I agree with that. Normally after December, my facts are right regarding Stones. Who will be our next striker when Aguero leave the club? Mbappe or Harry Kane? Who knows? To be fair, Andy Sergio was lethal at the same age as Gabi Jesus. Seen it. 22. Don't know whether he was quite lethal at 22. I'll be honest with you. Don't think he was lethal at 22. Was he 23 when he went to Atletico? Don't get me wrong. We're talking about Aguero. We're trying to compare Gabi Jesus with a player who is probably the best striker, most clinical striker in world football right now, and is consistent. There's not been many strikers like that over the years, so it's very difficult to compare where Gabi Jesus is now and Sergio Aguero, who is just everybody knows he's phenomenal. Nice haircut, thanks. I get your point about Jesus being young, but I just don't see him reaching world-class heights, whereas another youngster might. All right, which other youngster then have you seen at City that you think could be world-class? These people been watching the correct Man City. I know, I do find it a little bit strange. But hey, it's like, listen, it's all about opinions, and that's absolutely fine. We all have them, otherwise it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it, if we all agreed? The only area in which we failed last season was exactly that. Pep demands perfection. I think we need back Stones and Jesus. They really need fan support. They could improve. They have age. They're really good. Should not judge them because of some of their errors. Well, name me a player who hasn't made errors. People are talking here. Well, here's an example. People are talking here about can we compare Gabi Jesus? Will Gabi Jesus ever be at the level of Sergio Aguero? This is Sergio Aguero who missed the penalty against Spurs that would have put us through to the semi-final of the Champions League. Now, do we put all the blame on Sergio Aguero for that? I don't care. I'm not interested. A lot of fans did, though, and said, if he would have scored that, blah, blah, blah. Fans saying, Riyad Mahrez, if he would have scored the penalty against Liverpool, we would have got another 100-point season. So are we all going to blame Mahrez because of that penalty? Players make mistakes. It's just, sadly, goalkeepers And let's face it, Ederson made a few ricks last season, but nobody ever mentions about Ederson's ricks that he made, and he made a couple, and the season before. But nobody really sort of has a go at that because he's like a bit of a cult hero now. Defenders will make mistakes, and the problem being is a defender makes a mistake, whether it's a red card or it's a slip or it's a like John Stones for England. Sometimes ends up in a goal. But when strikers miss open nets and things like that, it's all like taken as well. It's part and parcel. They have 10 shots. They're going to miss a couple. Well, it's the same with defenders. Sometimes, during a game, they might have 10 key moments, and only takes one of them could end up in a goal. So I think it's unfair to sort of try and compare likes for likes, and just because somebody made a mistake, people remember that from a season ago, and it's like you forget all the good games that these players had. We have a horrendous injury record. Need Maguire see me after class. You ain't convincing me, Rob. I'm sorry, mate. Andy, on other matters, your thoughts on how dreadful our corner kicks were yesterday? Well, actually, hi Julio, hope you enjoyed the game. Yeah, I mean, it's something that we have been poor on, but I thought the game before, the Kitchie game, I thought our corners were really good. But again, went back to yesterday. I didn't see the likes of, against Kitchie, the fact that we were playing. Actually, I thought yesterday was not that really nice move when KDB hit it to the edge of the area and Bernardo just curled it wide. And so I think they were trying to mix it up a little bit. But on the whole, it's got to improve from the last couple of seasons where I agree they've been absolutely shocking. Not fussed about Maguire, Stones and Laporte first choice all day long. Otamendi will play. Dino will drop back there if needed. Paul Stando says, I'm with you, mate. If Pep was able to buy everyone the team needed, he'd get bored. He likes to challenge a jig in the team. I agree with him. I think sometimes he likes to challenge himself and challenge the players. Competition is good for all players to keep the ball on the ball. Will some think they'll be okay, even if they don't have a great game? It's only the rookies to come in, but I'm not worried. Anyhow, time will tell. Yeah, and it's like I said, we'll see, won't we? What about giving Eric Garcia a chance instead of buying Blockhead? Well, according to a couple on here, Martin thinks Eric Garcia and Harwood Bellis need to go on loan. Why Pep gets paid top money and not us? I totally agree with you, Martin. Thank you, Scott. Andy just missed my witty dig at squad size I put, but he's working very hard to answer editor's credit. Sorry, did I miss that, mate? There are so many. Let me just go back up. Did you put laugh out loud, Steve? Putting off with the money. Sorry, I might have missed that one. I do apologise, Bernard. There's that many comments coming up. I'm trying to whisk through them as quickly as I can without, just giving out comments. Andy's losing his rag now. I'm not losing my rag. Yes, they should go on loan and get good first team football at likes of Brighton or Norwich. Brighton. Great training with first team, but nothing beats proper games in my opinion. I think so. I totally agree with you, Martin, with regards to. But that was my question. Are you basically saying that Eric Garcia and Harwood Bellis will not be around the first team squad next season? That's my point. Is that what you're saying? 2 more points would we still might have had a company, so someone missing there, and he'd get a transfer ban. But I said I'm not fussed. I'm sure it'll be fine. Harwood Bellis 17 alone would be better for his development, quite possibly. Thomas Castling. Otamendi isn't good enough. He's 31 now and he's lost the yard of pace. I think Ake or Diaz from Benfica would be perfect. Yeah, Andy, I haven't seen Oyarzabal play either, but it has been reported over the last hour, and so apparently his release clause is 75 million euros. No, I've never heard of him, mate, and I've never seen him play, so I've no idea. I haven't read anything. If it's just the last hour, maybe it's just come through. I haven't read anything on that, mate. I'll be perfectly honest with you. So maybe that is something. Oh my God, how many comments coming on here? Keep them coming. Sorry, I'm way behind. Hurricane to replace Aguero? No, I know that you're taking this. I wouldn't mind Gundo going. Let Rob make his comment on that. Sorry, Andy, didn't mean to upset you. You haven't upset me at all. No, it's not. I mean, it's just like I said, this is all about we're having debate. It's like being in the pub. We debate it. It's no one is trying to upset anybody. It's just you say something, I'll say something. If I disagree, I'll say something. If you disagree with me, you have the opportunity to disagree with me. It's perfectly fine, mate. Which of the striker would best partner Jesus, bring out the best of him? Mbappe. I think we'd all love Mbappe, wouldn't we? Would we get him? Who knows? I tell you something now. I think if there's a possibility to get him, it'll be now, right now. Because I think if he signs a new extended contract at PSG, I think the release clause will be ridiculous. So if we want him, we better get him for him very quickly. Steve says, maybe after he leaves as competition for Jesus, though I doubt it. I don't have opinions, honestly. Hey, how did it go? Did you enjoy it yesterday, Julio? Ocean Rage, do you think Nmecha has a future at City? Nope. 100%, nope. Foden could be world class, I hope, so do I. Chris Baker, agree Bellis would be my preferred option to go on loan. Perhaps Stoke after Shawcross and injury would make him grow a pair there. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Harwood Bellis will be around the squad. I think a loan move for him is a definite. But Martin mentioned Eric Garcia, and I don't think Garcia's going on loan. I think he'll be around the first team squad next season. Footballers are humans. Everyone makes mistakes. Of course they do. The new generation of City fans don't know how lucky they are. 80s, 90s, City was a very different beast. Yeah, and absolutely spot on they were. Screw it, get Barry Conlon. Hey, I was waiting for it. Here we go. Martin's back with Barry Conlon and Jerry Creaney. Typical City, section 22, right. Andy, did you get your eyebrows threaded? No, it didn't, mate. That's just scars. Nice haircut, thank you. Would you like Sun Ji-ai now? 24. Hey, I love Sun Ji-ai. Into the City. Sun Ji-ai was a great player. I love Sun Ji-ai. Another ear lower in day. Yeah, fuck off, Steve. Wish we could sign Mbappe. That's guaranteed Champions League. Yeah, he's probably the one player in world football right now that if you could sign, you'd sign him. The difference between Aguero and Gabi Jesus is that fire in the belly. I'm pretty sure all of that. My life used to play as a striker. I know the feeling. Believe me, he's going to be all right. But Aguero, he's a baby. Paul Stein, anyone here? Klopp talking rubbish again. Going to talk about these quickly. Martin also, Rob, we're in the doghouse. In the doghouse. Play the kids and please, Klopp. Yes, enjoyed the game yesterday. I had a few videos of the game. Brilliant. I think I've heard about 20 versions of his name. Saying he's not jealous, yeah. We're talking about, obviously, okay, we're talking about Klopp, which we'll talk about. Personally think Rodri has potential to be the best centre midfielder in the world, maybe. Yes, Andy, listening to this in the bath. Enjoy your bath, mate. His mum owns a chippy. Have you seen the rumours about... No, somebody just mentioned that. I haven't, mate. Let me just quickly, seeing as though people are talking about it, let me just see if anything's just come up on my... What I normally check out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. Right, something's come up here. This is on Sports Witness. Seems Man City have a big and unexpected plan in case of Leroy Sané really leaves the club to join Bayern Munich. As reported by Spanish outlet AS this afternoon, Pep Guardiola's side are interested in signing Mike Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad. It said the English club have already contacted Entourage, saying that in case he accepts their offer, they will trigger his release clause. The amount paid at La Liga's headquarters would be €75 million, and that certainly shows the potential seen by Pep Guardiola in the player. Sociedad are aware of City's plans, and it's not ruled out they can meet the 22-year-old father to see if they could find a solution. It makes clear it would be a big blow for Real Sociedad, since Oyarzabal is seen as a symbol of the present and the future at the club. But if the release clause is triggered, there's nothing they can do about it. Well, that's that. Never heard of him, never seen him, don't know anything about him. I'll be perfectly blunt with you. For me, I doubt it. If I'm honest with you, 75 million release clause. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I absolutely don't know. We'll see. I don't know much about him. Maybe other people can tell me about it. I have no idea. So that's this. I thought it was a golfer, Oyarzabal. But anyway, bloody hell, it's Des Perry. What's that? Hey, in North Stanton Main Road, it was his mum, all right. Mbappe will cost us 108 million, but would love him. Don't think it's a problem spending that much money if we've got it. I was in the North Stand, but I've got early senile dementia, so probably confused. He got 14 goals in the league and like 10 assists. Yeah, and, you know, one season wonder. Has he got 10 assists, 10 goals in the Premier League like Sane last season? Man City must win the Champions League this season. No, they mustn't. I already told you, Andy, we hot glue some licorice sticks to Ilkey's head and send him out to buy, and his pace is still faster than anyone in that league, and they'll never know the difference. Come the company loses first game. Somebody said that earlier. Right, gone on and on and on. Let's have a look at some quick news before we go. Marlos Moreno, if you remember that name. I'm sure those who were around and remember the transfer of... sorry, just pause there. Who remember the transfer of Gabi Jesus to Manchester City also came with Marlos Moreno. Well, is expected at the Portuguese club Portimonense today, basically, and reports are saying that he's having a medical, and it's going to be another loan. It's like, oh my God, let's just get rid of the kid. But he's going for, he'll be there with a local compatriot, which is obviously Jackson Martinez, who signed a 2-year deal at the same club. So, yeah, he's not really had a great time, I'll be honest with you. Since he's been out on loan at various clubs, he's had pretty poor seasons, and he's just not lived up to expectation. And I think I've said it on the channel before, when Tim Vickery, South American correspondent, he knows everything about players in South America. When Gabi Jesus was rumoured to come to City with Moreno, he said Moreno is the better player out of the two. Didn't turn out that way. So, Steve Oatway, how are you, mate? Don't worry, mate. We're sort of going shortly. We've just been talking about all sorts. We're having a bit of a heated debate about Maguire. You reckon Zinedine Zidane, Gary, is going to be the first one to be sacked? Man City must win Premier League. If we win the European equivalent of the Carabao Cup, I guess it would be a bonus. I agree. Wenger out, you reckon? Exactly section has Blondie been on recently? Presuming Limerick won, he's still on the pod. He hasn't been on. He's not been on for a couple of days. I don't know where he is. He's probably in a, sat in some pub somewhere in the corner. Not like you to be outspoken. Too hot in Norway. My beer is boiling, Bjorn says. Right, next thing. Well, we've talked about centre backs. So we've done the centre back thing to death. I think I was going to talk about potentially some of the youngsters, but we've done that. Jurgen Klopp, bizarre comments again about from Jurgen Klopp, has basically said that Liverpool are unable to keep up with the spending of Manchester City and PSG and others in the transfer market, which I find is absolutely amazing. Their only addition to the squad, major addition to the squad, is obviously the 17-year-old Sepp van der Berg from Zwolle, but he forgets. I mean, he's overseen sort of £250 million in 2018 on the likes of Van Dijk, Alisson, Fabinho, Naby Keita, Shaqiri. He says, I can't say anything about what other teams are doing. Well, don't say anything then. In fact, his opening statement, don't say anything. I don't know how they do it. We have to pay bills. Sorry, everybody has to pay bills. We have to pay bills, he says. We invested money in this team. Now it looks like we are not. But we are not in this fantasy land where you just get whatever you want. You cannot do it constantly. You cannot compare that. That is the situation. It is not criticism. What the fuck is it then? I know how people will take it, that I am jealous or whatever. I am not at all jealous. I mean, he's just, the guy's an absolute bellend of the highest order. He makes excuses about when the team lose or draw. He makes excuses about wind and about pitch conditions and about this and about... There's always an excuse for everything. And now that it seems that FSG are not backing him this summer, after he's had a massive outlay. Here's an example, and I'm just going to run through a few figures. Granted, so far, £1.3 million, but they've sold £25 million worth of players. So he's moaning about money, and he can't spend it, and he can't this. Well, he's only spent 1.3 million so far this summer, but has sold £25 million worth of players. So there you go. He's got 22.5, £3 million in the pot, because he's sold Camacho, Moreno left on a free. He sold Danny Ings for 20 million quid. Last season, he spent 161 million pounds. 39 million on Fabinho, Keita at 52.7 million, Alisson on 56.2 million, and Shaqiri at 13 million. He sold 33 million pounds worth of players with the likes of Clavan, Danny Ward, and Solanke. The season before, he spent 155 million quid on the likes of Solanke, which he sold the next season. 34 million quid on Salah, 8 million on Robertson, 35 million on Oxlade-Chamberlain, and 75 million on Van Dijk. Granted, they recouped 142 million quid. So, if you look at it, they sold the likes of Coutinho, Saku, Kevin Stewart, Lukas, Andre Wisdom. So, I mean, the money is there to spend. The money is absolutely there to spend. And they've spent a fortune. Now, it clearly shows to you that FSG are not interested. They're just simply not interested in giving him any more money. So, you know, don't moan about it. You've spent a fortune, absolute fortune on it. So, tough. It is what it is. Stop making excuses for every single thing that comes up. If it's a loss, it's this. It's this. It was windy, or it was too much rain, or the grass was too long, or the pitch was made wider, or it's just a non-stop excuse. It's like his fan base. It's like his fan base has just morphed into him. It's just blah, 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 blah. That's all you get out of him. It's just a bell end. Anyway, what we got here? What is their net spend on Candle? Not going there. Told you, it's the equivalent of the European Cup, not the Carabao Cup. Liverpool is a very well-run club. It is very well done. Scousers moaning about not having any money. No change there then, absolutely. Said the blind man. Sorry, Martin, I don't hold it in such high regard. How do they pay? Who are the big rumours? I came late. Well, no big rumours. There's no big rumours, mate. No big rumours today. Cancelo has come out and said he's worried that he's going to be forced to stay at Juventus, and that's it. That's why I just think it's another... That's, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. One last thing was Lukas Nmecha. You talked about Nmecha. You're talking about Nmecha. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. Well, it looks like Nmecha is set to depart the club on loan to Wigan Athletic. And yes, it looks like they're amongst many clubs sort of trying to get his services. But rumours are that he potentially would like a move to Germany, back to Germany, if possible. So we'll wait and see. He played really well. Obviously, we know he did well on loan at Preston last season. And he played a really sort of important part in their push for a playoff place. But he scored 41 league appearances for Alex Neil's side, with 24 of those coming as not scored, he played in there. So he had a really good loan spell at Preston. But I think he needs to go out on loan. I don't think I'll be honest with you. I do not think he'll play for Manchester City in the future as a regular player. I'll be honest with you. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I think a loan move is a must, absolute must. Seeing as though he was out on loan last season and did really well for the likes of Preston, but it's a bit different to the Premier League. Can Chelsea play centre back? No, don't go there, Steve Blank. I think Lampard will do a good job. Isco testimony in November. Thanks, Martin and Bernard. Isco forever. Gary Lampard will kill his 2 seasons. I think he'll do well. Next week's headlines today: City beat Liverpool in meaningless curtain raiser, or Liverpool beat City and it's Liverpool's fire at title. Nmecha spending rival. Absolutely. You know what it's going to be, don't you? You know, it all depends on what the result is. It's going to be dependent on what the headline is. But anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to go. I've been on for well over an hour. City's an Isco. Isco's the City legend. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, check out episode 6 of Career Mode on FIFA. And I put that out there. Oh, definitely Maguire, Rob. Definitely Maguire. Have a good one, Ocean Rage, but if else, I'm spending big. See you, Andy. See you all, Sky Blues. Listen, I'll be back. I'm going to Dublin first thing, so I don't know. I won't be doing. I doubt if I'll do a pod tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Might be later in the evening. It depends because I've got a few meetings and things like that after my training. So, Gold Star, thank you very much, teacher. But don't forget, check out Rob's episode 6 if you're into the FIFA series. Then go and check out his three games this week. He's getting better. But Jesus, Andy, it's going Globe Defence Partnership. 5:30, please. I'll do my best. It depends on what time I finish and get back, because I'm staying with some of the people I'm actually training tomorrow. So we all know each other. So I'm staying at one of their houses, and we're having a bit of a meeting and about some work in the future and things like that. So if I can get a quiet room, I'll do a quick vlog for you. What time can me and Rob leave detention? You can go now. Now that you've realised and wrote out, yes, Maguire is definitely not the answer. Maguire is definitely not the answer. Maguire is definitely not the answer. What's the best signing of the last decade? Kiam. 1,000. It was 10,000. So crack on with them. Right, I'm going. See you soon. Take care. Thank you, everyone. Give it a thumbs up before you go. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, click subscribe. Hit that bell icon. And don't forget, give us your comments below the video. And I'll be back tomorrow at some point. I don't know when. But don't forget, check out the Career Mode episode 6 on FIFA. And don't forget, check out the podcast that we did on Friday night. Me, Rob, Martin and Carl. It's a really, really good, really piss off, right, Rob. Take care, guys. See you soon.